Okay, I see a couple of you nightbirds on here. Say hi. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see everything okay. Wow, more people up than I thought there would be. Don't be shy. Say hello. I want to make sure I can see you guys' comments, questions. I'm going to turn some more lights on so we can see a little better. All right, guys. Well, I guess I'll start. I see some people are joining. So we're going to do a copycat card today, and we are going to make this cute little hula girl. Oh, you guys are a little too close. I'm going to move you up a little bit here. Oops. All right. So hopefully that'll work out for you. So you can see she has a little hula going on. And then this one, we're not going to make this one, but I just want to show you it's a different take on it. She's actually a little slider, so she can move across the card here. This one I made for Leah to play with. She can actually do some somersaults there. Okay. All right. So my inspiration for this card was, as you guys know, I was very upset that I did not get the Hero Arts Beach kit, and one of you guys, my viewer, Dory, sent it to me, which I am eternally grateful for. So I wanted to make a card, not necessarily for people that got the kit, but people that didn't get the kit. So this set was used primarily using the kit, but I'm going to use a copycat set, a different sort of set, and see how close I can get to mimicking this card. So if you did not get, hi Barbara, if you did not get the Hero Arts Beach kit, as I mentioned before, there are other comparable kits out there that are beachy themed that I think you could get pretty close at replicating this cute little hula girl card. Okay, so we're going to get started. By the way, this is the Hero Arts kit. But like I said, I'm not trying to brag or put it in anyone's face if anyone didn't get it. I think it's a shame, and I hope that Hero Arts brings it out so that people can get it. The Hula Girl herself, though, is a set that is available. She is part of My Favorite Things. This is the My Favorite Things BB Polynesian Paradise set. Okay, so there she is there. This is a set you can get from My Favorite Things. So that's her. So the first thing I did was stamped her out with some Memento ink, because I'm going to be Copic coloring her. I'm not going to be showing too much of the coloring here. You know, you can use color pencils, you can use Copic. So she was really easy to color. Make sure I have the right colors here. So this first one is E11. I just went all over her arms, face, neck, body, all of that with the E11. So what are you guys doing up so late? That's my question. I actually have off tomorrow, so that's why I can stay up tonight. But I work Saturday, so. All right, so just real quick with her body, I did the E11, and then I went through with E33, and I just kind of did around her hairline. I did the tops of her arms, because, you know, she's suntanned. The top of her stomach there, and then the top of this leg, and the back part of that leg. And then I just went back in with the E33 and blended that all out. So pretty easy to do there when it comes to the skin tones. This is not a very large image, so I didn't have to do too much in terms of coloring it. Her grass skirt, also very easy to do. I took YG06 and just colored it all in. Then I took a little darker color. This is the G21, and I just basically did around her leg where it would be bunched up, and then a little bit at the top here. That's it. And then I colored her top with just one color. This is a nice bright pink. This is called RV02. Colored her flower in yellow, which is Y35. And then I just colored her hair in brown, and I have two colors of brown, E29 and E57. So I just went in with the lighter color, laid the base color down, and then went in with the darker color, kind of pulled it out from the center part there, and then just went all the way down and blended those together. Once I was done coloring her with the markers, I fussy cut her out. I believe they sell a die set. I don't have the die set because I'm cheap. And I do hate fussy cutting, but she's pretty easy to cut out. Hi, Jewel. And I'm just taking a black Memento marker, and I am just outlining where I cut. All right, this honestly is the hardest part of the whole card. The rest of the card is pretty easy to put together. Hi, Roberta. I would love to go to Hawaii. My sisters and I are saying that we're going to save up and we're going to go in 5 years. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's a nice thought. All right. So there's our hula girl. She's all ready to go. We're going to put her aside for 1 second. I have a piece of 5 by 3 3/4 paper here. Now this just happens to be Whisper White because I just did a Stampin' Up project. So it's Stampin' Up Whisper White, but you can use Bristol. You can use whatever you got. I'm going to take my little circle punch, and I'm cutting down a full sticky, and I'm leaving a little flat spot there. I'm going to use that. And then I have some distress inks here. I have Mustard Seed, Abandoned Coral, and Seedless Preserve. Roberta, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this. And the first one I'm going to start with my blending tool is just the yellow mustard seed. And let me get out a little Post-it tape here. Put a little Post-it tape across where I think my water should go. And I'm just going to put a little dab of yellow, and boom, there's my sun. So easy to do. Hi, Huntress from Texas. Where in Texas? I have family down in San Antonio. I lived in Texas for a small period of time because that's the benefits of being an Army brat. All right, so we're putting our little half sun Post-it there, a little yellow. Then we're going to take our Abandoned Coral, and we are going to do that from the outside. I'm going to kind of start on the Post-it tape and just in a light circular motion, pull out there. Now, don't worry if it doesn't look perfect and blend. We can always keep blending it out. Bristol Smooth paper is actually the easiest, I think, to blend on. It makes you really look like a pro when you're blending. But use what you have. Handmade cards are supposed to look handmade. Okay. And then the last color we have here is Seedless Preserves, which is a nice deep purple color. San Antonio, yes. Kentucky, I've never been to Kentucky. And I've been to a lot of places. So we're just taking the Seedless Preserves and just kind of doing the outer edge with it. And I'm going to just go back in with the Abandoned Coral and just blend those two. And you'll find as the paper gets more saturated, it blends pretty easily. All right, so I think that's pretty good for our little sunset. All right, so for those of you just joining, I am doing a copycat card. I made this card of the Hula girl, ta-da, with the Hero Arts kit that Dory sent to me. However, I know a lot of you were not able to get that kit, so I'm going to make this card as close as I can get it. Oh, here you guys are. Without the Hero Arts kit. So I'm going to use a similar set, which has similar features, to see how close we can get to this card, because I know not everybody was able to get that Hero Arts kit. If you did, great. But I wanted to show you that we have other options here. All right, so there's our sunset. Pretty easy to do. So we want to do the water. So the set I'm going to be using is the one I showed in the beach alternative stamp set video. And I'll, if you guys haven't seen that, you can go back and check for that. And this is the kitchen sink stamps multi-step cabin by the lake. And what we're going to use out of here is the layered water. So there's 2 sets of water there. Let me get my long stamping blocks out. Thanks, Roberta. Hey, I love when everybody can get everything, but let's face it, not all of us can afford to get everything, and not all of us have the opportunity to get everything. So I just want to give you guys alternatives. So I'm using the first layer, which is the top water, and I'm going to stamp that in a lighter blue. Let me get my blue out here. Should have been prepared. I'm going to be using the Altenew, I think this is called Persian blue. I love this blue. So this is going to be my first layer. And actually, I should probably put, let me just grab a foam pad here because we're going to be stamping. Where'd my foam pad go? I'm unprepared, guys. All right, I'm going to wing it here. There we go. I'll just use this piece of cardboard. All right, now all I'm going to do is line up the water with the horizon there and stamp it down. Okay. Now I'm going to take the second layer of the water, and I'm going to use a little bit lighter color blue, also a Altenew ink. This one is, oh, sorry, darker color blue. This one's called Sapphire, and I just have one of their little mini ink cubes here. So for the second layer, we're going a little darker here. Now, we can go 2 ways. I can stamp it down like this, but there's actually a little separation in the middle of the water here. So I'm actually going to turn the stamp upside down so that separation is underneath our sunset. So it almost looks like, you know, that's part of the sunset reflecting down. And if you want more water, you can flip it and stamp it again. I don't think we need any more water. I think we're good there. Yes, Roberta, I will list this stamp set. This is from Kitchen Sink Stamps. I've had this stamp set for a long time. It's a very masculine set. I like that it's got a little cabin and fishing guy in the water, but this layered water is great. All right, so that's pretty good for our water, I think. So now we need to add the sand because we can't have the Hula Girl without sand. So I'm going to go back to Altenew inks because they have the brown sets here. And I'm going to use this one called Rocky Shore. And I'm just going to use a Tim Holtz blender here. And I am just going to sponge some sand down. I got a blue blob of ink there. Oh, well. It happens. Now, if you don't like that straight line there, you can restamp the water on the jagged edge and bring it down some, and that will cover that up, but I don't need to do that this time. Now, I want the sand to look more sandy, so I'm going to take the next color, which is mocha, and I'm going to take this little stippling brush. This is called a color duster, Judikins. I've had these for years. And I'm just going to take this, and I'm going to take the little bit darker color, and I'm just going to stipple the sand. And that's it. Our background, for the most part, is done. What do you think? We're getting pretty close here, right? Hero Arts Kit, Copycat. All right, so in the Hero Arts Kit, there's birds. They're pretty easy to draw on. I showed you guys a kit where I had Stampin' Up! Birds. They are part of, I forget which set. Oh, the Lighthouse Kit. So, I mean, if we wanted to, let me grab that one. I forgot about the birds, guys. The birds and the bees. All right, I can't find it. I put it away so well that I can't find it. Anyway, there's a Stampin' Up! Set that has a lighthouse, and inside that set there's flying birds. So you could use those birds if you really wanted the birds. I'm sure you have other birds. I'm sure you could just draw birds. Birds are cool. All right, anyway, moving on without the birds. All right. So then the next thing is down here. I know it's kind of hard to see. Well, we could do the clouds. Let me show you guys these clouds. They look pretty cool, right? Because they're textured. They're actually made from puff embossing powder. So you can find this. It's out there. It's made by Wow. It's called white puff powder. So this same kitchen sink stamp set has clouds. So I'm just going to grab a couple of those clouds. They layer. There's different sizes. Where's my little anti-static tool? So I'm going to heat set this only because we use distress inks. And, oops, distress inks takes a minute to dry. All right, hopefully that's dry enough. Yeah, because when we're using distress inks, they stay wet for a little while, and we don't want that sticky anywhere. So then I'm going to take my embossing powder tool and just where I think I'm going to put those clouds. Put a lot of that down there. And I'm just going to flip this over and do the other. So we'll do two little clouds here. We're going to take this puff embossing powder. So we have Kentucky and Texas in the house. I'm in Pennsylvania. How about the rest of you guys? All right. I'm going to heat this up now. All right, so now we have some raised dimensions without the shininess of heat embossing because this is like a matte finish and it's raised. This is great. This is great embossing powder to have for Christmas, you guys, too, because you can make little snowflakes and they puff up. All right, so there's our clouds with the puff powder. All right, so down at the bottom here, you guys saw me make my own sand. So the Hero Arts kit does come with its own sand embossing powder, and it's a mixture. It's got like some copper and some like taupe, and it's got some thicker bits in there. So it really does look like sand. But as you guys know, this all started off because I wanted this sand and I couldn't get it. So I made my own. So and I'll link my video for this. When I made my own, I just took some copper, some ultra thick embossing powder, and I put some lighter embossing powder in there, which I actually dyed with alcohol ink. So there we go. Roberta's in Long Island, New York, Santa Fe, New Mexico. You guys are all over. Isn't this great? The power of the internet that we can come together. All right, so I don't have the hello word. So I'm going to take an embossing marker, and I just re-inked this, so I hope this works okay. This is a Versamark embossing marker. And again, I'm going to take my anti-static powder tool down here at the bottom. And we are also going to just write out the word hello. And it doesn't have to be neat because it's in sand. I'll make it kind of squiggly. Hope that takes. And I'm going to use the homemade sand embossing powder on that. Now this has some ultra thick embossing powder in it, so I don't want to shake too much of it off. And when we heat this, we're going to start by heating it from the bottom. All right, so there is my version of sand embossing powder. What do you think? Do you think it looks like sand? It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Not perfect, but it's pretty close. Hopefully Hero Arts will carry that embossing powder so we don't have to make our own. All right, so then the last part is the fun part, and that's obviously just putting everything together. So I have a card base here. I have some navy cardstock. Goodness, this was a long video. Sorry. I didn't even have birds. I lost the birds. Okay, and then the best part about this whole thing is making our little girl Hula. Where'd I put her? Oh, here we go. So this is our Copycat background made without the Hero Arts kit. Here's the one made with the Hero Arts kit. I think they look pretty close. And to do the Hula Girl, we have what's called an action wobbler. And this is a small action wobbler. And there's two sides to it. There's a very thin side, which is here, which is basically a double-sided tape. And then there's a thicker side, which is the spring. And this is made out of heavy-duty plastic. So what I usually do is I take the thicker side and I attach that to my image. So most of the weight is on my image. And I'm going to attach that to her skirt. And press that down, make sure that's on there good. And then you pull off the backing sheet off of the thinner side. And it all comes off and it will be completely clear. And there's even a little piece in the middle circle there that comes off too. So now it's completely clear, so it doesn't show on your card. And we're going to put her where we think she should hula. And I know you guys are like, have some like ukulele Hawaiian music playing in the background of your heads there. And there she is. So there you go, guys. This set, again, was made with the Hero Arts kit. If you have it, it's a great kit. You're a very lucky person. And if you don't have it, don't give up. There are other stamp sets out there where you can get pretty close to that set. Like I said, other than the birds, which I do have somewhere. I think this came out pretty good. And the items that I used today were the kitchen sink stamp Cabin by the Lake set, which has the layered water that I used, and the clouds. They are layered clouds if you wanted to layer them. And then the little girl is from My Favorite Things, and she came off of the BB Polynesian Paradise set. So there she is, and I just colored her and cut her out. But I believe they do have dies, framelits, die cuts to cut around and match her if you didn't want a fussy cut. So I just colored her in with Copic markers. The sunset, I just used distress inks in Mustard Seed, Abandoned Coral, and Seedless Preserves. And then with the clouds, I used the white puff powder from Wow to do the clouds. And then I made my own sand and wrote it out in Hello with a Versa marker there. So there you go. Kitchen sink is on back order. Man, you guys really must be gobbling that up because it was in stock. All right. But I can tell you, they're a great stamp company. They've had this stamp set out for a long time, so I'm sure it won't take them long to get that back in stock. And you can get this set from My Favorite Things. I checked yesterday, and I know that that is on there. So there you go, guys. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate all of you. Thanks for watching, and keep on stamping. Hula on, girls. And guys, thank you guys for watching my YouTube Live. I'm just going to do this all night. All right, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.